Hi guys, happy Monday. Mortgage Mondays here with Tess Gascon and Kobi Rex, Bay Equity. Just kind of wanted to, I know a lot of you guys are considering buying a home and might not know the loan process. And so just kind of wanted to get with Kobi and find out exactly what happens when you purchase and how the home loan transaction goes. So, yeah.
Cool. So I think the biggest thing, you gotta find cool people like Tess. Tess is the first part. We love having to pair you with a realtor that's going to be able to create a great search for you, so that way you kind of know what you're looking for. Right after you have that first initial consultation with them and you guys start a dream build, they learn more about your family. We're kind of the down and dirty side on our side, to be honest. We're kind of the people that kind of we're going to look at a few of your financial things just to make sure that you're going to be able to repay this loan, because the worst thing in the world would be for you to have an awesome house but then immediately have that regret of knowing that you weren't able to pay for that house.
Yeah, and that you can't put an offer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so frustrating. So, and to be honest, I think a lot of people think that we're like here just to crush hopes and dreams. That's not really what we're here to do. What we're here to do really is to try to work with your realtor and you. And the first thing we kind of need we need to prove your income. So there's two ways we do that. We need to know your 30 days of pay stubs for the current job you're at. If you're at a job, if you're self-employed, we'll cover that in a few seconds. So the 30 days of pay stubs kind of shows us what you're making right now. And then additionally, we're going to need 1 year of W-2s. Bay Equity, where I work, we're actually awesome because and I hope I believe that because I work there. But no, there's other companies that it becomes more robust than that. We are one of the most competitive in the market. We're not going to make you go and find your second grandma's will or something to try to prove your income. That's not what we try to do. So 30 days pay stubs and then that one W-2 that kind of gives us a snapshot of a year and then gives us a snapshot of the last 30 days. We're going to need 60 days bank statements just to see your current assets in order to make sure that we can prove your down payment is there. And then I would really recommend, if you have any questions about down payments, 2 weeks ago we did a great segment on that, so I would really recommend referring to that. We have a lot of great programs in the area.
That's a great question. So if they are doing down payment assistance program, do they still need their bank statements?
100%.
Okay.
I think, yes, you're going to still need a down payment assistance, even in a down payment assistance situation you are, because the earnest money, we still need to see where that's come from. Super small tidbit, but please, whenever you give us the earnest money thing, please do not blank out your account number, because then we can't even process it. Because that drives us crazy and we have to waste your time. But I think that's kind of the big thing for us, is that we're just trying to prove your income, and then silly things like when your driver's license to make sure that you are who you say you are. But then pretty much after that, we just have to make sure that we pull your credit. So we'll ask for your social, so that's not weird or anything. We're not trying to take your identity. But what we're trying to do is just look at the current things you have to pay for. Like if you've got a student loan, you've got other debt, we just want to make sure that you're taken care of. And we do what's called a debt-to-income ratio analysis, where we take all of the debts, including what the mortgage payment would be, and then we put that over whatever you're making right now, you and your spouse, or if you're just a girlfriend, boyfriend, we can do that too.
Or whatever kind of relationship.
Yeah, whatever the
significant
whatever.
other.
We
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Or by yourself.
We just get it done.
Okay.
So we'll create that. We'll create the analysis of how your income looks, and then after that, pretty much we take that and we'll send you initial disclosures. So initial disclosures will it'll show you the rate that we are charging, the kind of process that the kind of loan we're gonna do. There's 3 typical types to do: conventional, FHA, and VA. I really recommend you watch some of our other videos if you are not familiar with those terms, because Tess and I did an awesome job kind of laying those out.
Yeah.
And then I
all
think
kinds of fun acronyms that we have in the real estate world.
Yes, totally. If you're not over acronym, then join the military. So then the next thing is pretty much once you sign those initial disclosures, we take that entire packet with all of your fun information, send that up to underwriting, and then you will get an information from us saying you've been conditionally approved. So you're not done yet. Occasionally they'll ask for additional requirements. Sometimes it's not showing your bank statement if like you did earnest money, that if you did the earnest money, sometimes it's not showing that it came out of your account. Everybody to the nth degree now has to show where the money came from. So sometimes we just need to see a little bit more of that. Occasionally your employer we have to verify employment. So every once in a while, we need you to go back and get another form filled out by your employer. So there's usually, once we've done conditional approval, it's pretty quick to get you where we need to go.
And usually at that point, we're under contract and moving a lot on my side too, so.
Yeah. And then the appraisal is another component that you'll need to do. So sometimes we ask you to pay up for that up front, or sometimes we wrap that in the cost of the loan. And then basically they're just going to come in and look at the property and see what they assess the value as. And one of the biggest things with that is that in that process, for a VA and FHA loan, we really would like that number to come in, whatever the price was for the property.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's
or
not
above.
Yeah, or above. We'd much rather prefer above. So that way we don't have to get into a negotiation of, if it comes in underneath that, then we have to figure out how we're going to match the difference. And luckily in a conventional position, most of the time there's a down payment that's large enough that we can absorb that. So once the appraisal is done, pretty much the last thing we just got to do is we're going to send a closing disclosure a few days before we need to close. And basically that's going to go over the final numbers. During the entire process, when the initial disclosures come through, some of the title fees and some of those other things are just estimates, because we have to get final numbers with the title company before we can actually disclose that to you. And the closing,
them all out.
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think that's the big thing, is just making sure all those numbers come together. You and your significant other can look at that and then put that all together. And then once you've done that, pretty much the fun time is you get to celebrate, and 3 days after that, you'll just be closing on your property.
All right. So sounds easy enough. So, and then also too, Liz and Shelley have an app that I can share that helps with the application process too. So.
Yes, we do. We have a card tab app. It has both Liz and Shelley's face on it, which are going to be awesome. So that way you can do some calculations to see kind of what a loan payment would be. If you have any questions, there's a bunch of different components of that. Like, just make sure your taxes and insurance are accurate before you think a payment is the most accurate, because they don't want you to have sticker shock if you had an inaccurate calculation. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is that Tess is an amazing realtor that is going to help you to make sure that everything you're going through in the process, she's going to walk you through it. And especially if you choose to work with Liz, Shelley, or I, you can 100% have 100% confidence that we're going to be 100% transparent. If you have any questions, there are no dumb questions. We want you to be able to feel comfortable and secure that this is one of the biggest debt obligations you're going to make in your life, and also one of the most important things and one of the biggest assets. So we just want you to have complete confidence. We're not trying to rush you. You're not a number to us, and we're local here to help you. So we'd love to walk through the process with you.
Yeah, I think it's great that you guys take the time to explain everything and make sure that everyone understands the process. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And make sure too that just as much as our side is important, I think this is going to be a different episode, but the contract is just as important as what we do on our side, because if Tess doesn't write a good contract, we can't perform.
Which I do.
So she writes a really great contract. So just make sure that when you are working with whoever you are, if they can't explain to you why they're doing a contract, or why they're doing a date, or why they're offering, like, there's so many different terms that we're going to have a fun episode in the future describe the contract, but you really need to work with professionals that are going to get you everything you need. So, and I really believe that Tess is going to help you a ton. So I really would encourage, if you don't have someone, look at her, sit down with her, have a consultation, and then go from there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And same to you guys. You guys are amazing. So I always trust my clients with you. So appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you have a great week. Happy Monday, Mortgage Monday, and we'll see you next week.